If we are given an inequality of this form and we want to solve it and find its solution intervals, what you have to do is, again, we have to put x minus 1 equals to 0 and x plus 5 equals to 0 to find out the x values. So from here, x is equals to 0 and x minus 1 is equals to 0. From here, if we subtract minus 5 from this side and this side, it gives us x is equals to minus 5, or you can say that we take 5 to the other side and gives you minus 5. So we have x is equals to 0, and if I take 1 to the other side, by which I mean is if you add 1 on both sides, we get x is equals to 1, x is equals to 0, and x is equals to minus 5. So on the real number line, again, if we look at this, we have minus infinity, positive infinity, then we have minus 5, then we have 0 somewhere here, and then we have 1 somewhere here. So you can see that the intervals, since this is only greater than interval, so there is no equality in here, so the symbol would be of this type. So we have one interval from minus infinity to minus 5, the other from minus 5 to 0, then from 0 to 1, and then from 1 to positive infinity. So we have to check for all these intervals and see in which interval or intervals the solution satisfy. So for that, what we have to do is we take the value x, the x minus 1, and the x plus 5, all the three terms, and then finally the inequality, which is the inequality term, which is this one all together. And then we find out this in the minus infinity to minus 5 interval, the sign from minus 5 to 0 interval, from 0 to 1 interval, and from 1 to positive interval, positive infinity. So if I take anything from minus infinity to minus 5, that would give me something negative, right? If I take anything from minus infinity to minus 5, if I put it here, that would give me a negative. Minus 5 minus 1 gives me minus 6. If I put anything between minus infinity and minus 5, it gives me what? If I put minus 6, that gives me negative. Now, minus into minus divided by minus, minus into minus is plus, and divided by minus is again negative. The inequality says that it has to be positive, greater than 0. It means this interval is not included. The second now is anything from minus 5 to 0 is minus 4, minus 3, anything is negative. If I put any value from minus 5 to 0, if I put minus 4 here, minus 4 minus 1 gives you minus 5, so a negative value. If I put minus 4 here, it gives me a positive. If I put minus 3 here, it gives me a positive. So this one is positive. So we have a negative time a negative divided by a positive. Negative time negative gives you a positive, and positive divided by a positive is a positive. It means the solution is here. Now for the next term, from 0 to 1, you can put any value from 0 to 1. So the best would be if I put half. So if I put half here, this is half is positive. If I put half here, half minus 1 gives me minus a half. So minus a half is a negative. Similarly, if I put half here, that would be 5.5, which is a positive. So we have a positive into a negative divided by a positive. Positive into negative gives me a negative, and divided by a positive gives me again a negative. And the inequality says that it has to be positive, so this one is not the solution interval. Now we go to the last one. If I put anything above or more than 1 is always positive here. If I put 2 or 3 or 4 or anything, then this gives me a positive. If I put anything here above 1 is positive. So positive into positive divided by positive gives me a positive. It means the solution is also here. So now we have solution in 2 intervals, this and this one. It means the solution can be here or it can be here. So in mathematical notation, we write the or as union. So I hope it helps. Thank you.